Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Alcoffer.
Here.
Mr. Alcoffer is present. Ms. Barnhart.
Here.
Ms. Barnhart is present. Mr. Baines.
Here.
Mr. Baines is present. Mr. Blankley.
Here.
Mr. Blankley is present. Mr. Brew.
Here.
Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Burgess is present. Mr. Colby.
Here.
Mr. Colby is present. Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty is present. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman is present. Mr. Florio.
Here.
Mr. Florio is present. Mr. Dondorfer.
Here.
Mr. Dondorfer is present. Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Frazier is present. Ms. Hasman.
Here.
Ms. Hasman is present. Mr. Hebert.
Here.
Mr. Hebert is present. Ms. Hugh Smith.
Here.
Ms. Hugh Smith is present. Mr. Keller.
Here.
Mr. Keller is present. President Lamar.
Here.
President Lamar is present. Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Long is present. Mr. Mafucci.
Here.
Mr. Mafucci is present. Mr. Marionetti.
Here.
Mr. Marionetti is present. Mr. McCabe.
Present.
Mr. McCabe is present. Mr. Milne.
Present.
Mr. Milne is present. Ms. Roman.
Here.
Ms. Roman is present. Ms. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Smith is present. Ms. Taylor.
Here.
Ms. Taylor is present. Mr. Turp.
Here.
Mr. Turp is present. Ms. Vasquez Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Vasquez Simmons is present. Ms. Vecchio.
Here.
Ms. Vecchio is present. Mr. Udelson.
Here.
Mr. Udelson is present.
I would like to begin by welcoming everyone back. It is really good to see everyone's face. It's been a long time. I want to take a moment to just recognize that every year, March 8th is celebrated as International Women's Day across the world to promote women's rights and honor their achievements across the political, economic, social, and cultural spheres. This year's theme is Break the Bias. And there's a quote that I looked at today, and it says, there's no force more powerful than a woman's determination to rise. The question isn't who's going to let me be, it's who's going to stop me. So happy Women's Day. And just a reminder, I want to make legislators aware that the clerk's office is continually seeking ways to improve its video and audio systems. All microphones should be considered live while we're on YouTube during the duration of tonight's meeting. Please stay seated. I would like to introduce Pastor David Branch of Faith Chapel of Churchville, who has been invited by Legislator Brew to lead us in a moment of prayer.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to begin by quoting some scripture, Paul's letter that he wrote to Timothy, very much for us today as it was back then. He said, first of all, I ask that you pray for all people. Ask God to bless them and give them what they need and give thanks. You should pray for rulers and all who have authority. Pray for these leaders so that we can live quiet and peaceful lives full of devotion to God. This we will do. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance, and for friendship. I pray that this year will be the year of fresh vision and focus for Monroe County. Each day offers new opportunity to surpass previous goals and achievements and to go even higher than our greatest expectations. I pray for the leadership on both sides of the aisle, that each would look ahead with clear vision and focus to bring to our great county. Wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of all our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony, even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved county of Monroe. And I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen and amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Branch.
Thank you.
I would like to present you with a certificate on behalf of the Monroe County Legislature.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please stand. Legislator Taylor will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Taylor.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I ask you to remain standing. Without objection, we'll take an agenda item number 38 out of the regular agenda order. Agenda item number 38 is moved by Legislator Brew and seconded by Legislator Roman. Will the clerk please read the resolution in memoriam of Terry Vitor, Monroe County Civil Service Commissioner and former Monroe County employee.
Expressing regret of the Monroe County Legislature on the recent passing of Terry Vitor, Monroe County Civil Service Commissioner and former Monroe County employee. Be it resolved that the Monroe County Legislature hereby expresses its deepest sympathy at the recent passing of Terry Vitor, and whereas Terry Vitor passed away February 12, 2022 at the age of 69, and whereas Terry served Monroe County residents as a member of the Human Services Department for 42 years, starting in January 1971. Beginning in the HR liaison/classification department, she progressed through her career to become a principal personnel technician and manager of classification. In this role, she created career ladders and removed barriers to employment for every civil service job function in Monroe County, including its towns, villages, and school districts. Terry has been a mentor to an entire generation of female professionals who ascended to the top of their careers, learning from her example. Terry was a gifted trainer and civil service presenter in local and statewide events, and whereas in 2007 she retired on a full-time basis but continued to share her skills and knowledge with the county in a part-time role in addition to serving as a hospice volunteer and an equestrian, and whereas in 2017, she answered the call to service again when she was appointed a member of the Monroe County Civil Service Commission, the body charged with ensuring fairness in the implementation of the state constitutional mandate of employment based on merit and fitness. It was a responsibility she executed with great care, dedication, and passion. Terry's lifetime of public service truly made Monroe County a better place for all and will continue to live in a lasting impact. And whereas Terry is survived by her husband of 42 years, Don, children Robin Viscuse and Mark, grandchildren Anthony Jr., Dominic, Sienna, Jack, Ben, and Claire, parents Philip and Joyce Norton, siblings Amy Lancaster, Paul Norton, Ed Vitor, and Nancy Freight, and several nieces and nephews. And whereas Terry will be remembered for her kindness and dedication to the community and will be missed dearly by all who knew and loved her. Be it further resolved that the clerk of the legislature is hereby requested to forward a copy of this resolution to the bereaved family. This resolution was adopted unanimously, with each legislator rising in his or her place for a moment of silence.
Please be seated. Your copies of the Journal of Day 3 of 2022, February 8th, 2022, are available through notice agenda. Without exception, the journal will stand approved as submitted. Legislators, the referrals submitted to the legislature for the next committee cycle are available on notice agenda as well as online. There are several proclamations scheduled this evening. Mr. Clerk?
Will the representatives of 4-H, Farm Bureau, and Cornell Cooperative Extension come forward, along with County Executive Adam Bello, President Sabrina Lamar, and Majority Leader Steve Brew? Whereas March signifies a national celebration of the importance of food and agriculture in the United States, as it provides almost everything we eat and use each day. This month, we recognize and celebrate the diversity and abundance provided by New York's farms in our growing food and agricultural section and the contributions of Monroe County's family farmers. And whereas there are 33,400 farms in New York State and 6,900,000 acres of operated farmland, and whereas the agricultural industry in New York State contributed more than 5.7 billion in agricultural economy sales to the New York economy each year, and whereas with farmland occupying nearly 1/4 of New York State's land area, agriculture also promotes New Yorkers' quality of life in other ways, including providing access to fresh, locally sourced food, preserving open space, and enhancing communities through farmers markets and other such activities. And whereas recognizing the month of March as Agriculture Month in Monroe County provides the opportunity for all residents of Monroe County in New York to better appreciate agriculture's breadth and beauty, how food and fiber products are produced, and the role agriculture plays in providing safe, abundant, and affordable products. And whereas commemorating Agriculture Month will build awareness of the benefits of the agricultural industry in Monroe County and encourage young people to consider agriculture as a career. And now, therefore, we, Adam J. Bello, County Executive, Sabrina Lamar, President, and Majority Leader Steve Brew, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2022 to be Agriculture Month in Monroe County.
Marty. Thank you so much. We really appreciate taking the time to recognize agriculture as an important part of Monroe County and Monroe County's history, as well as Monroe County's future. Agriculture here in Monroe County is a valued source of local food, critical to food access and nutrition. And our farmers are important stewards of our natural resources. Both rural and urban farms provide green space for the health and well-being of our residents. And additionally, agriculture is an important economic driver here in Monroe County, with 527 farms generating over $76 million in revenue through agricultural products just in Monroe County alone. The Monroe County Legislature has had a long history of supporting agriculture. The county's investment annually directly supports Cornell Cooperative Extension's vegetable, fruit, grain, dairy, and livestock teams, leveraging over $2.15 million in extension and applied agriculture research programs, which are critical to the success of progressive farms here in Monroe County. By participating in these teams, we are able to access the expertise and resources of the extension system and the rich faculty and program resources of Cornell University, as well as the entire national land grant system. That accessing of resources benefits our growers and our residents. Through Monroe County Farm Bureau and Cornell Cooperative Extension, as well as Soil and Water Conservation, farmers have boots on the ground support. The financial support you provide in this effort is critical to the success of our farms, so thank you. Additionally, your support ensures the integration of agriculture education and ag experiences for our children and youth through 4-H and Ag in the Classroom programming. The integration of agriculture for youth encourages a respect and appreciation for nutrition, agriculture's role in society, and the importance of preserving our natural resources and caring for our environment. On behalf of Monroe County Farm Bureau and Cooperative Extension, we'd like to thank County Executive Bello, President Lamar, legislators Brew, Smith, and Colby, and the entire county legislature for support in recognizing the importance of agriculture to our county. So thank you so much.
We thought we'd give you a taste of what agriculture is. You guys can all enjoy your apple. Hopefully that they'll taste good enough so that we'll see you buying them in the grocery store.
Thank you.
Will the community representatives from the Ukraine come forward? Along with County Executive Adam Bello, President Sabrina Lamar, Majority Leader Steve Brew, and Minority Leader Yaversa Roman. Whereas the people of Ukraine have long struggled to establish an independent state, all while preserving their culture, language, and self-identity. And whereas on August 24th, 1991, the Parliament of Ukraine formally declared an independent, democratic Ukrainian state, establishing the territorial integrity of Ukraine as independent and inviolable. And whereas the declaration was further upheld on December 1st, 1991, when more than 90% of Ukrainian citizens voted in the national referendum in support of independence. And whereas in August 2021, the people of Ukraine celebrated a 30-year milestone anniversary of their independence. And whereas the sovereignty of Ukraine has been tested with unprovoked invasions from the Russian Federation in March of 2014, the Russian Federation invaded the peninsulas of Crimea, illegally annexed the region, held a bogus referendum, claimed the territory as part of Russian. And whereas over the years, tensions continue to escalate in the region as the Russian Federation resisted Ukraine's involvement in the European Union and NATO. And whereas on February 24th, 2022, the Russian Federation launched an unprovoked invasion of Ukraine after conducting large-scale military buildups under the guise of military exercises. And whereas the Russian missile attacks on Ukraine's major cities has resulted in thousands of displaced Ukrainians, destruction of key infrastructure and resources, and hundreds of civilians and soldiers' lives lost. And whereas these attacks have come at the hand of a dictator whose only goal seems to be inflicting terror on a peaceful, democratic country with brutal disregard for human life and freedom. And whereas Monroe County is home to one of the strongest and most vibrant Ukrainian American communities in New York in the United States, with over 40,000 residents claiming Ukrainian heritage. And whereas Monroe County stands with leaders across the globe in holding Russia accountable for this malicious attack on the Ukrainian people. And whereas Monroe County supports the safe passage and equitable migration of displaced Ukrainian citizen residents and refugees of all ethnicities, and will welcome and provide resources to those who emigrate to our community. Now, therefore, we, Adam J. Bello, Monroe County Executive, and the Monroe County Legislature do hereby proclaim our unwavering support for the people of Ukraine in Monroe County and urge our citizens to join in supporting Ukrainians both locally and around the globe.
On behalf of Ukrainians of Rochester community and Ukrainians around the world, we thank you so much for your support, for standing with Ukraine in these dark times, as well as we hope and would appreciate your help in the future and support when Ukrainian refugees do arrive to the United States. Thank you so much.
There are no formal committee reports scheduled for this evening. We will now hold a public forum. We have several people registered to address the legislature. Mr. Clerk?
If you require assistance, a deputy is available to assist you in approaching the lectern. I will call 3 people forward at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes in which to address the legislature and kindly conclude the remarks. When the timer sounds, exit through the back chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. We actually only have 2 speakers signed up. Will Stephen Jackson and Eugene Nolan come forward?
Mr. Jackson, you probably speak first. Jackson first. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Gene Nolan. I'm the Monroe County Chairman, I'll get it out, of SCOPE, a hunters group and Second Amendment protector. I'd like to congratulate the new people in the legislature on their winnings. And you people that have been here before probably recognize me because I'm back here to deliver the same message. We would like that unconstitutional law that's in the code for Monroe County to be revoked. What that has to do is carrying concealed weapons in our parks. Now, we've given you tons of information and facts that have been researched about what goes on in our parks that were built so we can enjoy them. We've included the response time from our sheriffs, police, state troopers. We've included the crimes that take place in the parks, and they're not pretty. Most recently, a murder. Could all these be prevented? Probably not, but a good majority of them could have been if the person was allowed to carry a concealed weapon, which the Constitution says we can. By the way, this section is 320-28. And again, we have provided many, many facts to you people. And just to quote some famous people, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense. What do you suppose they meant by that? Provide for the common defense. The people previous to me walked out of here was a good example. Our prayers are with them, but they were stripped of all our weapons so they could defend themselves. And these people are passionate people. They want to defend themselves. They have no weapons to do it. They're crying for them. You think that can't happen here? It can. Stick to our Constitution. Steve?
Please summarize.
Right.
Please summarize.
Oh, I have my own time.
You do have your own time.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you manage that?
Candyman.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody today, when they hear the word gun, heads for cover. Why is that? Let the gun speak for itself. I am a gun. In the proper hands, I provide many valuable services to our community.
Please summarize, sir.
Time up already? Okay, time flies. Okay. In summation, we're here again. We would like your vote to repeal this unfair and unconstitutional part of the Monroe County Code. Thank you for your time. Wow, that was fast.
Great. My name is Stephen Jackson. I'm the vice chairman of the Monroe County Scope Chapter. I'm just going to follow up with what Gene's talking about. Your oath of office that you just took, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will do so and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office, whichever office you hold, according to the best of my ability. We're asking to be able to carry our firearms, defend our families, and defend our homes, and defend our community. We're behind you at the grocery store. We're behind you in the bank. We're at your churches. We're everywhere. Just because you can't see our guns doesn't mean we don't have them. Obviously, we're carrying wherever it's legal, but we want to be able to carry everywhere that we go so that we can defend ourselves and defend our families. Me personally, I've been trained in first aid, CPR, emergency responses, active shooter situations, a whole bunch of different situations where having a firearm is going to help me defend those around me. Police are, minutes away when the seconds count. So let us help our families, let us help our communities, and let us carry our firearms wherever we possibly can. Thank you.
This concludes the public forum.
At this time, we will recess the March 8, 2022 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature and will convene the Gates, Chi-Li, Ogden Sewer District, Arundecoit Bay, South Central Pure Water Districts, Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District, and the Rochester Pure Waters District of the Pure Waters Administrative Board. If there are no objections regarding referral 22-0059, we will adopt all 4 districts with 1 vote. The clerk will see to it that individual motions and resolution numbers are assigned to each of them. Mr. Clerk, please note the attendance and read the first item on the agenda.
Mr. Alcoffer.
Here.
Mr. Alcoffer is present. Ms. Barnhart.
Here.
Ms. Barnhart is present. Mr. Baines.
Here.
Mr. Baines is present. Mr. Blankley.
Here.
Mr. Blankley is present. Mr. Brew.
Here.
Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Burgess is present. Mr. Colby.
Here.
Mr. Colby is present. Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty is present. Mr. Vecchio Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Vecchio Hoffman is present. Mrs. DeFlorio.
Here.
Mr. DeFlorio is present. Mr. Dondorfer.
Here.
Mr. Dondorfer is present. Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Frazier is present. Ms. Hasman.
Here.
Ms. Hasman is present. Mr. Hebert.
Here.
Mr. Hebert is present. Ms. Hugh Smith.
Here.
Ms. Hugh Smith is present. Mr. Keller.
Here.
Mr. Keller is present. President Lamar.
Here.
President Lamar is present. Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Long is present. Mr. Mafucci.
Here.
Mr. Mafucci is present. Mr. Marionetti.
Here.
Mr. Marionetti is present. Mr. McCabe.
Present.
Mr. McCabe is present. Mr. Milne.
Present.
Mr. Milne is present. Ms. Roman.
Here.
Ms. Roman is present. Ms. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Smith is present. Ms. Taylor.
Here.
Ms. Taylor is present. Mr. Turk.
Here.
Mr. Turk is present. Ms. Vasquez Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Vasquez Simmons is present. Ms. Vecchio.
Here.
Ms. Vecchio is present. Mr. Uelson.
Here.
Mr. Uelson is present. PWAB agenda items number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Referral number 22-0059, amending resolution increasing contract with Clean Harbors Environmental Services, Inc. to collect, transport, and dispose of household hazardous waste to support Monroe County Pure Waters Industrial Waste Program.
Moved by legislator McCabe. Second.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. I would now like to recess the Gates, Chi-Li, Ogden Sewer Districts, Arundecoit Bay, South Central Pure Water Districts, and Rochester Pure Water Districts, and continue only with the Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District of the Pure Waters Administrative Board. Mr. Clerk?
PWAB agenda item 5, referral number 22-0061, authorizing intermunicipal agreement with Town of Kendall and Town of Hamlin related to Lake Ontario Resiliency and Economic Development Initiative, Kendall Ready Wastewater Infrastructure Project.
Moved by legislator McCabe. Second.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Hebert and Delahanty. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. We will now recess the Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District and adjourn the Pure Waters Administrative Board. The March 8th, 2022 meeting of the Legislature is now reconvened. We will now proceed with the consideration of motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk read the next item on the agenda?
Item number 1, referral number 22-0054, confirming reappointment and appointment to the Monroe County Water Authority.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Brew, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Alcoff would like a second. Noted. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 2, referral number 22-0055, designating of official newspapers for County of Monroe for 2022.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Turk, seconded by legislator Brew. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 3, referral number 22-0056, classification of action and termination of significance pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act for the acquisition of real property for Stone Road Highway Improvement Project in town of Pittsburgh.
Moved by legislator McCabe. Second.
Moved by legislator McKay, seconded by legislator Turk. Is there any discussion?
Noted.
Noted. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 4, referral number 22-0057, authorizing acquisitions of interests in real property for Stone Road Highway Improvement Project in town of Pittsburgh.
Move it, Madam President.
Moved by legislator Delahanty, seconded by legislator Marianetti. Is there any discussion? So noted. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 5, referral number 22-0058, amending resolution 420 of 2020, increasing contract with Clean Harbors Environmental Services, Inc. to collect, transport, and dispose of household hazardous waste to support Monroe County Pure Waters Industrial Waste Program.
Moved by legislator McCabe. Second.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
Item number 6, referral number 22-0060, authorizing intermunicipal agreement with Town of Kendall and Town of Hamlin related to Lake Ontario Resiliency and Economic Development Initiative, Kendall Ready Wastewater Infrastructure Project, and Environment and Public Works. Kendall Ready Wastewater Infrastructure Project.
Moved by legislator McCabe. Second.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislators Heber and Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
Item number 7, referral number 22-0062, authorizing creation of 7 new positions, 5 upgrades, and 1 reclassification in Public Defender's Office, and creation of 9 new positions in Conflict Defender's Office as part of Year 4 funding of statewide expansion of the Hurl Herring Project Grant.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Downdorfer, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Turk.
To the president, to the administration, from my recollection, did we hire somebody that was going to be helping with recruiting for this office?
President. We did have a staff person who was in charge of recruiting. She was our DEI officer. She left to pursue her music career at the end of December, and we are in the process of trying to hire for that position. In the meantime, we have been actively working on recruiting with our current chair of the hiring committee. He and I have both been placing ads in a variety of locations in order to try and recruit for the positions we have.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Colby.
Could you maybe give us a list or an idea of where you've been advertising besides the standard, putting on our webpage in the paper, and where have you reached out farther?
Through the president, we reached out to the Western New York Minority Bar Association. I have reached out to the Albany County Minority Bar Association. I believe I reached out to Erie County. We've posted with the National Association for Public Defense, the National Legal Aid and Defenders Association, I'm missing one, the New York State Defenders Association. We've also placed ads with, I believe it's Indeed, and we are monitoring that daily. We have also reached out to we've reached out to law schools, we've attended job fairs, and I don't have the full list with me.
That's good to hear. One follow-up question for you, Mr. President, Madam President. The office that we just created a year and a half ago to help let Monroe encourage minorities in our system, have you been accessing them at all? Have they been participating in this hiring at all? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Through the president, Dr. Kimbrell was involved, if that's who you're referring to. Dr. Kimbrell was involved in attempting to hire for the DEI position. We have not invited her or thought to invite her to participate in the hiring of attorneys for the staff attorney position, but I was involved with interviews with her and our former DEI officer for the DEI position. Unfortunately, we were unable to hire someone through that process, and we're still working on it.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
I have a question or two. How many positions under this HH grant are vacant?
To the president, that was a question that was asked at the committee meeting previously, and I just have to reference the letter. It was either, I think,
Sure.
we sent a letter to Chairman Dondorfer of that committee, and there was one vacancy at the time. I don't believe we've had any additional vacancies, this is the grant-funded vacancies, since that date, although we've had a couple of people give notice, but they're not gone yet, and I don't know if those are grant-funded positions.
Thank you. And just one follow-up question. How many vacant positions are in your office right now?
For that answer, I would have to go back to the office and gather that information. I don't have that information off the top of my head.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you would like that information.
Please.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 8, referral number 22-0063, accepting grant from New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services for 2021 Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Program, Monroe County Crime Lab.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by Legislator Dondorfer, second by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Smith.
Thank you. Through the president to the administration, what is the current backlog at the crime lab?
Good evening, John Clark from the Crime Lab. Through the president, our current backlog in the drug section is 2,700 cases. In firearms, it's 3,500. In DNA, it's 740. And in trace evidence, it is 98.
Thank you.
Is there Legislator Colby?
Through you, Madam President, so are those numbers compared to a year or 2 years ago better or worse, just approximately in those areas?
Through the president, in the firearm section, it is higher, and the other sections are either the same or slightly lower.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, go ahead, Legislator Rona.
through you to the administration, can you explain why the firearms cases are increased? Why is there a backlog increasing in those cases?
Through the president, there has been a pretty big increase in firearm submissions to the crime laboratory. In 2019, the firearms section had 1,000 submissions. In 2020, they had 1,595. And in 2021, they had 1,900 cases submitted. So those increasing submissions, along with trying to reduce the density of staff due to COVID issues, has increased that backlog.
Thank you.
Legislator Barnhart.
Thank you, President Lamar. Through the president to the administration, can you put this backlog into some kind of historical context? Is this the worst it's ever been? Is this, if you kind of explain where we are? And also, this grant doesn't seem like, I don't know, what will this grant do to reduce that backlog? Is this enough?
Through the president, this grant will help a little bit with supplies and training. However, we do or are in the process of filling a new firearms examiner's position, hopefully bringing on a trained examiner, which will allow almost an immediate impact on the efficiency and reduction of that backlog.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? I actually have two questions. So my first one is, does Monroe County run ballistic testing for other surrounding counties?
Through the president, we do for Livingston County and Genesee County. However, their submissions of firearms evidence is pretty small.
Thank you. And lastly, with the increased number of shootings in the city of Rochester, I know that RPD relies heavily on ballistic testing when they are picking these guns up off the streets. I received a few calls from some officers who indicate that that's hindering some of the prosecution that could potentially be happening. And I'm wondering, what's the plan to speed up the ballistic testing in order to be able to provide RPD with what they need?
Through the president, we are in the process of hiring an additional firearms examiner, and we do work closely with the city of Rochester to prioritize their cases.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 9, referral number 22-0064, authorizing contract with University of Rochester for Monroe County Emergency Medical Services Medical Director.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by Legislator Dondorfer, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Hasman.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to declare my interest in this matter. I'm an employee at the University of Rochester.
Duly noted. Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Legislator Long.
Legislator Long.
I am also an employee of the University of Rochester. Declare my interest.
Thank you. Noted. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 10, referral number 22-0065, authorizing contract with Bill of Hope for juvenile justice therapy services.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Dondorfer, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 11, referral number 22-0066, approving public employees blanket bond for Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council.
Move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by legislator DeFlorio, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 12, referral number 22-0067, authorizing annual contribution to Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator DeFlorio, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 13, referral number 22-0068, accepting grant from Genesee Transportation Council for land use project.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator DeFlorio, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 14, referral number 22-0069, authorizing contract with ML Cacamese Electric Corp. for construction services for highway lighting rehabilitation Southeast 1 project in towns of Penfield and Barrington.
Move, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Keller, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Legislator Roman?
I'd like to declare my interest to partner with her Catholic.
So noted. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 15, referral number 22-0069, resolution authorizing the issuance of $3,820,000 bond of the County of Monroe, New York, to finance the cost of upgrading and replacement of expressway lighting facilities Southeast 1 in aforesaid county at an estimated maximum cost of $3,820,000 and superseding the bond resolution adopted on December 14th, 2021.
Move, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Keller, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
Item number 16, referral number 22-0070, authorizing any municipal agreement with Town of Greece for sidewalk installation in conjunction with Highway Preventative Maintenance Number 9 project in Town of Greece.
Move, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Delahanty, seconded by legislator Hebert and Keller, I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 17, referral number 22-0071, amending resolution 168 of 2021, including option renewing contract with Tribe Ecotherapy LLC for provision of mental health program as holistic option for veterans struggling with mental illness from Monroe County Department of Veteran Services.
Move it, Madam President. Second. Second.
Madam President, also like to second it. Moved by legislator Milne, seconded by legislator Delahanty, legislator Alcoffer, legislator Mafucci, legislator Hebert, and legislator Keller. Is there any discussion? Legislator Hebert, legislator Alcoffer.
I'd like to request some feedback from the administration on the success of the first two sessions of the program.
Through you, Madam President, Mixed Founders Veteran Services, we have released an updated data set on the success of the second cohort that is showing significant qualitative data from the veterans and their statements, and the quantitative data has also become statistically significant and shows a positive trend in decreasing of PTSD symptomology.
Madam President, I just want to compliment Director Donovan on the program what he does for veterans in Monroe County.
Speaking to the mic.
I continually call others weekly, and not only Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, but on weekends when veterans call me for assistance. I call him at home. He is always available and to assist veterans. This gentleman over there saves lives for our veteran community, so I just want to reach out to him and thank him. I know Howard and Fucci, Legislator Fucci, we sit on the Veterans Advisory Council, and we just are amazed at the things that our Veterans Agency does for veterans in Monroe County. So thank you so much.
Remember when obtaining the floor to speak, to stand up and speak directly into the mic. Thank you. Legislator Fucci.
Thank you, Madam President. What my colleague said. Thank you.
Legislator Hebert. Legislator Floria.
Yes, thank you. Through the president to the administration, how many participants are currently in the program, and do you have a waiting list of participants for future sessions?
Through you, Madam President, each cohort has 12 veterans in it, so there are currently 12 veterans in the cohort, and we have started a waiting list for future cohorts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to explain my role. First of all, thank you to the administration for continuing the echo therapy program that I sponsored last year as a child. January of 2021. I'm very proud that first piece of legislation utilizing the contingency fund went directly funding the echo therapy pilot program as well as a full-time position in the DSA, expanding needed services directly to our veterans. It is unfortunate last year that individuals in the local government chose to characterize the contingency fund as a slush fund for political tech projects. Folks stated this chamber. Hopefully that renewal puts to rest that characterization. As the referral shows, the early returns have been very promising, and I'm grateful to see the program continue, and I look forward to seeing all of its future successes. I want to remind the administration that when I brought this program up, it's also been proven to work with other populations that are subject to PTSD, and I encourage you to expand the scope. I will be supporting wholeheartedly this renewal and expect all my colleagues to join me in the open program. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 18, referral number 22-0073. Authorize a contract with Sealer Engineering PC to provide professional consultant services for the Monroe County Department of Public Health.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by Legislator Milne, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. This is for introductory purposes only. Next item.
Referral number 19, item number 19, referral number 22-0073, providing that resolution entitled authorizing contract with Sealer Engineering PC to provide professional consultant services for Monroe County Department of Public Health be amended.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by Legislator Milne, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. This is a motion to amend. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 20, referral number 22-0073, providing that resolution entitled authorizing contract with Sealer Engineering PC to provide professional consultant services for Monroe County Department of Public Health be adopted as amended.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator Mills, second by legislator Delahanty. This is a motion to adopt as amended. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
Item number 21, referral number 22-0074, authorization to settle lawsuit in New York State Supreme Court, Monroe County, index number I-201-7003712.
Move it, Madam President. Second.
Moved by legislator Delahanty, second by legislator Marinetti. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
Item number 22, referral number 22-0075, authorizing any municipal agreement with City of Rochester Police Department for traffic control services at Frontier Field.
Move, Madam President. Second. Second.
Moved by legislator Dondorfer, second by legislator Hebert and legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Dondorfer.
Madam President, I'd just like to declare my interest in the city.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 23, referral number 22-0076, confirming appointment of Director of Transportation.
Move back.
Moved by legislator Colby, moved by legislator, was that Keller?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Oh, moved by legislator Keller, second by legislator Colby. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Just want to congratulate the person appointed to that position. Next item.
Item number 24, referral number 22-0077, classification of action and determination of significance pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act for reconstruction of Children's Pavilion at Highland Park.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Turk. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 25, referral number 22-0078, amending 2022 through 2027 capital improvement program to add project entitled the Children's Pavilion at Highland Park and authorizing contracts with Highland Park Conservancy, New York State Dormitory Authority, and New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Delahanty and legislator Blankley. Is there any discussion? Legislator Hebert.
Thank you, Madam President. Through the administration, just a quick question. At DPW, I asked a question, and got a response that there was a soft amendment of $640,000 from the prior administration. Could you explain that further, please?
Yes, absolutely. Through the president, in 2019, the prior administration and Parks Director basically sat down with the Highland Park Conservancy and announced that the county would commit $640,000 towards the project.
Thank you. Was that ever voted on by the legislature? Madam President?
Madam President, it was not.
And I just want to make sure I'm correct. So the $640,000 that is being committed to this prior administration was voted on, and there's another 1.3 or so committed by this administration. Support $3.1 million project.
Madam President, the commitment from the county now would include that kind of verbal promise in the past.
So just to be clear, Madam President, this commitment is now $1.9 million.
Madam President, no, it's a cumulative total. What we're committing now includes that prior kind of verbal promise of $640,000. It's not in addition to that $640,000.
So Madam President, total commitment from the county to the project is based on. I'm sorry, I'm just still confused.
Madam President, we're, in total for the project, the county is committing to bond for up to $3.1 million. So that would be the largest number, but most, about $1 million of that is being reimbursed through grants, and about $1 million of that is being reimbursed through the commitment, the fundraising from the Highland Park Conservancy.
Thank you, Madam President. Through the administration, the answer I got indicated that there was $1 million of grants, $640,000 of soft commitment prior administration, $100,000 from Highland Park Conservancy. Now changing that.
Madam President, it's always been significantly more than $100,000 from the Highland Park Conservancy.
Madam President, the answer I got is accurate.
Madam President, we've never said there's only $100,000 coming from the Highland Park Conservancy.
That's what we agree, Madam President. That is exactly what we see from right from the administration response to the question. That is what we hope for that time. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 26, referral number 22-0078.BR. Resolution authorizing the issuance of $3,130,000 in bonds of the County of Monroe, New York, to finance the cost of the reconstruction of the Children's Pavilion at Highland Park in Forsyth County at an estimated maximum cost of $3,130,000.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator McCabe, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator DeFlorio?
Yes, through you, Madam President, to the administration. Actually, I guess I'm just rising to explain my vote. I've been, since this project was first introduced, during my time as the liaison of parks, I've been a supporter of this project, but I continually grow concerned at a lack of clarity that we are getting in terms of the answers with financing. And I guess I would request in writing from the administration a detailed breakdown of where the financing is coming from, so that we have a better understanding moving forward of exactly the commitment by the county, the pledged commitment by the Conservancy, in addition to the money that we've been promised through grant funding. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 27, referral number 22-0079, accepting grant from New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services for Upstate Family Defense, Child Welfare, Quality Improvement, and Caseload Reduction, and authorizing creation of one new position in Conflict Defender's Office.
Move, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Dondorfer, second by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 28, referral number 22-0080, accepting grant from New York State Office of Mental Health for Mental Health Block Grant System of Care Award.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Mills, second by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 29, referral number 22-0081, amend Resolution 15 of 2021 to accept additional funding from Health Research Inc. and extend the time period for the epidemiology and laboratory capacity COVID-19 Enhanced Detection Program.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Mills, second by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 30, referral number 22-0082, scheduling and holding a public hearing, approving the submission of a grant application to and authorizing the acceptance of grant funding from the New York State Office of Community Renewal for the Community Development Block Grant, CARES Act, for the preparing, preventing, and responding to the coronavirus.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator Mills, seconded by legislator Delahanty. This is for introduction purposes only. Next item.
Item number 31, referral number 22-0082, providing that resolution entitled Scheduling and Holding a Public Hearing, Approving the Submission of a Grant Application to and Authorizing the Acceptance of Grant Funding from the New York State Office of Community Renewal for the Community Development Block Grant, CARES Act, for the preparing, preventing, and responding to the coronavirus be tabled.
I move that, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator Mills, seconded by legislator Delahanty. This is a motion to table. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 32, referral number 22-0082, scheduling and holding a public hearing, approving the submission of a grant application to and authorizing the acceptance of grant funding from the New York State Office of Community Renewal for the Community Development Block Grant, CARES Act, for the preparing, preventing, and responding to the coronavirus.
Move that, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator Mills, seconded by legislator Delahanty. This is to set the public hearing. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item number 33, referral number 22-0107, approving the agreement between the Monroe County Executive and CSEA Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL-CIO, Monroe County Part-Time Employee Unit, Local 828, as a matter of urgency.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator Delahanty, seconded by legislator Smith.
Second, legislator Baines also. please.
Second, legislator Baines, legislator Mafucci. Legislator Vecchio. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, legislator.
To the president, to the administration, can you explain why this is a matter of urgency, please?
Through the president, based on when the union was able to vote, they actually have to do everything by mail. So there's a certain amount of time that they have to take to vote. So it's just in an effort so that the employees are able to receive their increases if this is approved tonight, so that they don't have to wait further.
Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Go ahead, legislator Baines.
well, the lights, there haven't always been the lights in my time in the legislature, has been the expeditious negotiation of collective bargaining agreements led by this administration and led by the individual bargaining units. And so it's great to see the county meeting of minds with the collective bargaining units, doing so in a timely fashion. And that's one of the reasons why we have a great county, because we have happy workers. So I'll be voting affirmative, and I'm thrilled to do so. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, legislator Baines. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 34, referral number 22-0108, confirming appointments to 911 Operating Practices Board, Action for a Better Community Board, Agricultural and Farmland Protection Board, Audit Committee, Council of Governments, County Fire Advisory Board, County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency, Fishery Advisory Board, Genesee/Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council, Monroe Community Hospital Board, Monroe County Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board, Monroe County Library System Board of Trustees, County Planning Board, Monroe County Soil and Water Conservation District, and Vietnam veterans of Greater Rochester Memorial Board as a matter of urgency.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Brew, seconded by Legislator Smith. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You opposed? Go to a roll call vote.
Are you, is anybody else?
Is anybody else? So 28 to 1, item carries. Next item.
Item number 35, referral number 22-0109, recommending the reconvening of the Legislative District Revision Commission.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Brew, seconded by Legislator Smith. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 36, referral number 22-0111, confirmation of appointments to Climate Action Plan Advisory Committee.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Brew, seconded by Legislator Smith. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. There being no unfinished business.
Madam President, everybody skipped an item. Skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Number 36. 22-0110.
I'm sorry. So last one was item 37. So back to item number 36, referral number 22-0110, confirmation of appointment to Monroe County Community College Board of Trustees.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Brew, seconded by Legislator Smith. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Legislator.
I'd like to explain my vote on behalf of the people of Legislative District 17. I would like to congratulate my constituent Danielle Lyman Torres on her appointment to the Board of Directors of ACC. She has a long career serving our community, and what stands out to me most is her work on behalf of our community's youth. Like the institution she will serve on, MCC, she lives up to its charge to serve the community. Therefore, I am happy to vote for her confirmation.
Thank you, Legislator. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Legislator Vasquez opposes. Is there any other, or do we need to go to a roll call vote? Just the one? Okay, 28 to 1, item carries. There being no unfinished business. Legislator Brew?
Thank you, Madam President. This honorable body stands adjourned until April 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m.